Well, the Idaho County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a missing
The
person.
Sheriff's Office says 73-year-old Marsha Hayes was
A
last.
family's desperate plea for help to find their mom brings us deep into Idaho and into the raging river of no return.
Oh, the area in which your car entered the Salmon River is arguably probably the worst section.
Hold that position. If I'm underwater 15 minutes, it's not a good thing.
Tornado down there.
15-minute timer starting now.
This one is going to leave you absolutely speechless, so hit that subscribe button and buckle up, because you are not going to believe it.
You guys see any sign of him coming up?
Come on, buddy. Come on, man.
In the early morning hours of May 22nd, 72-year-old Marsha Hayes loaded up her loyal service dog, Maggie, for their daily coffee run. Just a short drive to Blue Tick Coffee in Riggins, Idaho, where she'd grab a cup for herself and her husband. According to the employees of the Blue Tick, she picked up her coffees that morning, spoke to a few locals, and headed back home.
I got a phone call from my stepfather stating that my mom has not returned with this Frappuccino, and he knew right off the bat that something was going on. Told my wife that I had to try to find her. We packed up and headed over to Riggins.
And then we showed up to Blue Tick.
Yeah, within 24 hours, we were there at the site and asking for, I believe her name was Amanda. She was the last person I saw, and actually gave her the coffees.
After several days of tirelessly searching for his mother, a local resident discovered tire tracks along a cliffside on Highway 95, suggesting an accident.
So at that time, we followed the sheriff's department to the location. I was told to come to the vehicle, and at the vehicle, my mom's license plate was right there. And then looking over the cliff, just shrapnel in the vehicle. Yeah. That was where kind of it solidified, and we knew that, hey, this is where it began.
Now that Brian knows what happened to his mother, his focus has shifted to recovering her body. Unfortunately, Marsha Hayes is lost in one of the most dangerous rivers, the Salmon River, known to locals as the River of No Return. Nestled at the foothills of the Seven Devils, the river is fed by melting ice from the nearby mountains. The powerful currents, fueled by the runoff from the Seven Devil Peaks and countless connected waterways, make a recovery nearly impossible. Searching for it is too dangerous, given the lack of specialized equipment and trained divers.
The sheriff's department, like, we're not bringing anybody in here to dive for, and it was just really too high to get any boats on there.
Well, at some point we had to kind of give up on local resources. So we're like, let's go.
We came back to Portland and we re-geared up. Amazon lights, 80,000 aluminum like green light. We brought our generator. We had underwater cameras. I mean, we were throwing in lights at 2 o'clock in the morning in this canyon, lighting up the whole canyon, generator up top, running it, and just tossing out there, looking on a 6-inch LCD screen.
We didn't have a jet boat, and even if we did, we're not gonna know how to navigate in that water. It's crazy. We're riding pretty much solo. Like, what else can we do?
With the local resources unavailable, and after spending long days and nights, they still could not locate her.
So I was sitting basically in a parking lot, lost for words. Mom's still in the Salmon River. And my brother's wife called me and she's like, hey, I emailed this gentleman, Doug Bishop, United Search Corp. And I was like, okay, well, give me his number. Explain the story within, I'd say, 3 minutes. Said and done. You've said enough, I'm coming.
I was stunned when Brian told me there's no searching, no helping, nothing's going to happen. Months will pass while my mom stays at the bottom of the river. It was clear he feared he might never find her, never get the closure his family so desperately needed.
I immediately left for my last recovery in Illinois and headed straight there to help. All right, we are at the location where Marsha is and her vehicle and her puppy are suspected to have entered the river, right here on that bend. there. Nobody knows where her vehicle is. The number one objective is finding her vehicle. We have 31,000 cubic feet per second flow right now in the Salmon River. This is the river of no return. I mean, that's its name. And it's already been almost 2 weeks. And what I know right now is that the vehicle's compromised. The vehicle wasn't going too fast for it to have hit here and there be debris there. So I'm gonna go down there and check that out. What is this? This is gonna be some type of light seal right there. Handy. Definitely more. So right now, if I had to guess where her vehicle is at, I am standing right where the vehicle came down, hit the rocks, tumbled in here. Based upon the flow, with 31,000, me looking at it, and her vehicle tumbles in here, hit this rock here, probably on the side, spun it around, in, under, the windows are already broken. It's really quickly, this all happens within seconds. The vehicle is right over there, didn't even make it around the bend.
After investigating the crash site, analyzing the skid marks, and examining the debris, it became clear that Marsha had been rounding the curve. She missed the turn, plunged off the cliff, struck the rocks, and rolled her car into the river.
In a month from now, conditions will be slightly less than this, but the dangers are never going away in this section of river. To give you an idea, these conditions behind me is the whitewater capital of the world, the locals call it. The area in which your car entered the Salmon River is arguably probably the worst section that it could have entered the water. So it takes everything that we know to the next level, challenging. How do we mitigate the risks? But no matter what, the first part is finding the car. All the rest of those decisions, how do we recover it, all of that, that's an afterthought. Right now, the main focus is trying to find Marsha, Maggie, or the car. We believe she's still in her seatbelt. She always wore her seatbelt. So finding the car is key, especially in an active case. We have a verified accident location, and that's what we've been trying to do over the last 3 days. So we're doing something, and we're making it happen.
We had the date and location where Marsha's car entered the river, and we knew time was against us to recover her. I reached out to the sheriff's department to let them know I was ready to begin the search for Marsha. With that done, I started gathering my gear and preparing for the task ahead.
The battery's getting ready to charge. We'll be using this bad boy here, grappling hook. Of course, we got the Yankum endless loop here, the 100-foot Yankum line. So because Yankum lines are much stronger than any marine line I've ever dealt with, it's lighter than cabling used with the wrecker industry on land and so forth. Took this bag and I'm repurposing it. These throw lines that are automatically coiled up, ready to throw and deploy. I'm gonna take this bag down with me. So now I have a 100-foot Yankum recovery line bagged up. I'm gonna rig it to the vehicle, and when I head back, and I'm turtling along the bottom, along the boulders, and we're gonna connect it to the wrecker and pull the vehicle out.
To do this right, we needed one last piece. A jet boat. That's where Sean Davis of Little Salmon River Builders stepped in. With Brian along to help, we started at the spot where Marsha's car had gone off the road. We began trolling along the shoreline, carefully scanning the area for any signs of the vehicle or debris. The challenge we faced was that every river is unique. The currents, the eddies, the depth, all of it was different, and it was taking a lot of time to learn this river.
All right, keep going. Keep going. Trying to get the chart plotter on here.
After searching the river for 2 weeks, I knew time was against us. With the extreme current, it was only a matter of time before Marsha would be swept from her car and carried further downstream. Stay right there. Hold that position. Right there, hold your position right there. Go forward slowly. Yep, keep going. I think I'm right on the roof of it. See that? There's 16 feet.
Oh, no, that's a vehicle.
Yes, it is.
For sure.
Yep. As perfect as it's gonna get, man.
Cool,
Right to
bro.
the back end.
Fuck yeah.
Like it's pull in right above that line. Or right below it, I mean.
Finding the vehicle was a bittersweet moment. The reality of the tragedy hit all of us hard, bringing the weight of the situation back into focus. I notified the local authorities about the find, but they wouldn't commit to a recovery until I could prove that Marsha was still in the vehicle. I rigged an underwater camera to the Yankum rope. See it sticking out the back?
Yeah.
As we scanned the car, we captured footage of Marsha in the vehicle, and in a haunting moment, her hand was visible, waving out of the top of the car. The next step is to call in our find and coordinate the recovery operation. The sheriff agreed to let me take command of the recovery, allowing me to set up the necessary equipment and finalize the plan for safely bringing Marsha and the vehicle to shore. The goal would be to secure her in the vehicle and slowly bring the vehicle out. If I'm able to determine that she's not secure in the vehicle, I would take measures into bringing her out myself with me, walking them through the plan and ensuring everyone understood the risks and their roles in the operation. When I do go into the water and get under the surface, we can start a timer for 15 minutes. If I'm underwater 15 minutes, it's not a good thing. I shouldn't be under there longer than that. This is all unorthodox. There's no rule book on how to do this per se. So it's important that if somebody sees something that can help or be improved, speak up.
Father, we thank you so much for bringing us together as a group of men and women, Lord, willing to put ourselves in harm's way, Lord, to be here for Brian and his family, Lord, and bring Marsha home. Lord, I ask that you just, every work you do, give us, Lord,
The first step we needed to accomplish was to hook a line to the car.
Yep.
After some challenging tries, we finally managed to get a line on it.
Can you beat your front end or show him the end of that? Show Clancy the end of that. Get that tight. Walk it over here.
Now, it was time to suit up for the dive to Marsha's car. I would be going 16 feet down into the turbulent water to secure a line for the tow truck, making sure everything was set for a safe and stable recovery.
Take this together. Well, I gotta take this together first.
The river was flowing at 11,000 cubic feet per second, or roughly 83,000 gallons per second. Under that extreme pressure, I had to tape my boots to my fins.
And make sure that these aren't gonna come off my feet. Typically, I wouldn't use them in here, but they will allow me some power to get out of there. Typically, you don't see a lot of these in currents like this because they just get ripped off people's feet. And it does create some, yeah, but I'd rather have them on my feet. And if it sucks me down river, even if I air up, there's no guarantee that I come up because there's a lot of pressure. It will keep me down for some time, but at least with this, I can manage to work my way to the surface with some kicking power.
Every step of preparation was critical for survival and success.
We got 15 minutes.
Timer starting now.
As soon as I entered the river, the powerful current immediately began pulling at me.
There's a warning.
Gripping the line was difficult, the force of it cutting into my hands as I descended into the murky depths.
If he was float up, he needs to get on that other side.
Even though I had 15 minutes to dive down and return, the fierce struggle against the current was draining my oxygen much faster than expected. I had to act quickly to find a way to secure the line to Marsha's car so we could safely pull it out. As I wrestled with the line, I was able to verify that Marsha was in the vehicle and still secure in her seatbelt, but there was no sign of Maggie.
Four minutes.
Finally, I managed to secure the line to Marsha's car. As I started my ascent, I could feel my oxygen running dangerously low. Each breath was becoming more labored, and the weight of my suit combined with the river's powerful current made it increasingly difficult to pull myself along.
You guys see any sign of him coming up?
Come on, buddy. Come on, man.
If I lost my grip on the rope, the powerful current would immediately thrust me downstream, leaving me at the mercy of the river.
We got color. Color, got him. Yeah, beach.
Every inch felt like a battle, and I knew I was racing against time to reach the surface. As soon as I surfaced, the adrenaline that had kept me going drained from my body. Exhaustion set in immediately after battling the relentless current. Every muscle ached, and I could feel the toll the river had taken on me, but I was relieved to have made it back safely.
That's fine. It took it from me. All the way up to the highway. Like a tornado down there. Oh my goodness. Wow. Current? That's not a current, it's a tornado. I told you. 1 second you think you're okay, and then oh man. Then once we get it up. If it weren't for my fins, yeah, I don't even know how I made it, really. I got sick though.
Just means you're supposed to be here, doing what you're doing.
Hopefully this works. I believe everything's going according to plan at the moment. It's going to continue to go that way.
The next challenge is to bring the car and Marsha up to the surface. The river's force, the car's submerged weight, and the terrain will make this a complicated and delicate process. We have to be precise and coordinated to avoid further complications.
And then once we get it up here, then I'll re-rig it. We'll get her out right away. I need my seatbelt cutter.
Yeah, just take loose, take some slack off of it with a winch.
Yep, everything's good. We're gonna start pulling. We're gonna put this Garmin live scope over it so I can watch it as we're pulling to make sure everything's going according to plan.
We have to bring the car up with absolute care. There's no room for error.
There's 2 lines on it, one for redundancy and we're pulling. That's fine, doesn't matter. If you got to, drive the truck forward 10 feet. You gotta get it 10 feet more at least.
If the rope slips or the car shifts even slightly in the wrong direction, the powerful current could catch hold and drag it downstream. Now that the vehicle has partially surfaced, I need to secure a redundant line to ensure it doesn't break loose and slip back down the rocky ledge into the water. With the vehicle out of the water, I'm going to cover the windows with a tarp to ensure the family's privacy is respected. For Brian, it's a bittersweet closure. The tragedy that took his mom is painfully real. But knowing she's finally been brought out of the water offers a sense of peace. It's a difficult end to this recovery effort.
There's nothing else in the vehicle, man.
Huh?
There's nothing personal in the vehicle.
I
tried, yeah.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
It's fine.
Got her?
Yeah, that's all that matters, man. Glad I could help, bro.
It's a big weight, you know, a big weight off the back, and for somebody to come as well as Doug did, for everything we went through and what we had to do. And it doesn't matter, it's not the first, it's not the last memory I've had of her. And I couldn't ask for any better people to do it with me, you know? I mean, this is a friendship that's gonna last fucking forever.
Yeah.
There's a high likelihood the vehicle would not have made it into the river if there was some type of obstruction up top. So what started out as a tragedy is going to come with some triumphs because there's changes that are going to be made. Who knows? Marsha's law or definitely barriers up there of some sort. There's gonna be a lot of good to come from this.